guys, so this is the look we are doing today. It stays very, very natural, allows that little pop of color, tiny little bit, but it's designed for more of that everyday, allow that glow to show through the skin, where your natural skin is actually showing. You just have more of that flawless, perfected skin, where you can see all that light reflecting right off my cheekbones, my highlight, everything. It is absolutely a beautiful foundation, very, very light, and is exactly what is coming off Runway. If you go look at any of the pictures from the recent stuff in Milan or New York or you name it, it's all coming with this type of skin. Very sheer coverage foundation, perfected skin with that dewy glow, more of that just natural shine. So light hits it, it reflects. It's absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to teach you how to do it right now. Okay, starting off, we're going to start off with two things. One is Fix Plus by MAC. This you are going to spritz your face first with, and then you're going to go in. This is Complete Comfort Cream by MAC. It is my favorite moisturizer, especially for during the day. It's not too much moisture, but it still gives you that nice hydration where, especially with oily skin like I have, it's not making it too much. So starting off, you're going to spritz your face with Fix Plus, then apply the moisturizer. Now what you're really going to do is want to make sure you work that moisturizer into your skin. You don't want anything sitting on the surface, which is why we spray it with the Fix Plus first. Your skin works very similar to like a wet sponge. It soaks up more moisture if it's damp first. So by spritzing it with the Fix Plus that has vitamin E in it to help hydrate, it's also going to intensify your moisturizer. So it's doing more for the skin than what just applying straight moisturizer would be. The next step would be grabbing, this is Garnier BB cream. I am madly in love with this moisturizer, or tinted moisturizer, whatever you want to call it, BB cream. It is phenomenal at removing redness and toning a lot of that down. So you're going to be grabbing this, and then also your concealer. Now I'm using two different concealers for different things. I'm using MAC Select Cover Up in NW15, and I'm using the MAC Full Coverage or Studio Finish Concealer in NW20. So what I'm going to do, especially with this look, you're going to be using your fingers a lot and using your hands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit on my fingers. By using your ring finger to really blend out and get rid of some of those harsh tones. And touch up any spots that you just need to kind of hit with a little bit of concealer. Okay, so now that you've hit your face with concealer, and as you can tell, my face already looks 10 times better. You're going to take the Garnier BB cream on the back of your hand, or if you have any type of palette, this is a MAC palette. There's also those little heart ones that attach to your wrist. Personally, I like this one better. I feel like I have more control over everything I'm doing. But with this, I prefer to use the back of my hand. By using that warm texture or warm heat coming out of your hand, it's allowing this to kind of morph to the skin a little better. So it's going to be able to blend in a lot better. So I'm just taking a little bit. It doesn't take much. There on the back of my hand, and yes, that hurt. On this right here, you can use like the MAC, I think it's 187 is the big dual fiber blending brush or stippling brush, whatever you really want to call it. This right here is the bronzer brush from Face Secrets, which is a MAC, or not MAC, a Sally's product. It's actually a pretty decent brush. Takes forever to dry. That's the one thing I don't like about it. But I'm going to take it on this brush right here. And the trick I'm using to really give that dewy glow to the skin is by buffing it into the skin. So actually fully working it. Now your skin is already moisturized, so you're using this for more, little bit extra moisture, and especially with oily skin, they do have ones designed for oily skin, it still works great. But you really just want to work that into the skin to help fix color toning. Okay, so let me turn that light down a little bit so you can see some of that kind of glow. Okay, so by really allowing it to buff in with this, it's giving you that nice glow. It's helping even out your skin tone. Now for guys, this is typically where you would want to stop. Right here, that little bit of concealer, BB cream, you're good to go. Unless you have a lot more spots where I truthfully do have very good skin, I won't have to do as much, especially if I'm going out as a man. The only thing you would really want to do is hit some of the edges with a bronzer, which I'll go through later on in this video. But I like a little bit more coverage. I want it to stay very natural, and that's the design of this look. And give me more of that runway, that kind of dewy glow, that natural glow to the skin. So I'm going to take a little bit of Face and Body foundation. This is an N1. Another dollop here on the back of my hand. Now, I use a little bit more Face and Body than I do BB cream. And you're going to do the same motions, buffing that into the skin. Okay, now Face and Body does give kind of a dewy glow to the skin, and as you can see, it gave me just a little bit more coverage, and it helps even everything out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my contour brush. This one right here is the 186 by MAC. It's just kind of that angled fluffy brush. I'm going to take a little bit of their sculpting creams. Now this was a limited life product at regular places. I don't know if it's a MAC Pro item that you can get all the time, but it's like that. It's called Pure Sculpture. This has a little bit of a red undertone. Personally, when I like doing contour, I like doing something that has a little bit more of an ash tone for lighter skin tones, more of a warmer tone for darker skin tones. But it's what I have, and I've been using it, and it stays very, very natural. I like a little bit stronger. So I'm just going to take a little bit, doesn't take much, and I'm just going to draw on the shape, focusing a lot more of that color back here, bringing it forward to contour. Now for guys, you really don't have to do this, but for girls, if you want to. And I draw that basic shape, so you have more of that kind of harsh line going, and then I take the same brush and sit and just kind of buff that out. So it allows it to blend in a little more naturally. But it gives me a little more definition and shape to the face. Then I'm going to take the same brush with a little bit of the Select Concealer and NC15, or NW15, sorry. Just a tiny little dollop, something like that. I mean, it's a little good for nothing, but this is a little bit lighter than my skin tone. Now, for people who are lighter than me, obviously you're going to have to use pure white, but I take just a little bit on my same contour brush, and I press it into my highlight areas. Now, for this look, you definitely want to stay with more of the creamy textures of products. Where for some of my contour, a lot of it is powder. But you can already see a difference in the shape over there compared to over there, just by adding that little bit of that highlight. And I'm doing a stippling motion, so I'm pressing that into the skin. Do a little bit right along there, right down the center of the nose. And really buffing that in, giving you that nice contour. Or highlight, I meant highlight. Okay. So, then this is the one time we will be using powder, because there are certain parts on the face that I don't want to have shine. Where you want, sorry, I have a bad itch right here. Now this will be the one spot on the video we will be using powder. This is Golden Bronzer by MAC. It's very light coverage, but it just kind of helps even everything out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus that right up there toward the corners of my forehead. and lightly bring that down on where we just did our contour. Now, typically for powders, especially with this type of look, giving you that nice dewy glow, you want to stay away from the powdery finish. You want to stick with more of the liquids, more of the creams. And this right here, there are some spots on my face where I don't want the shine, which is why I use the contour. For my contour, I don't like that glow going on there. It gives more of an intense detail when you use a powder for that. Then I'm also taking a little bit right here along my jawline, just to kind of sharpen that up and bring it down onto my neck. I use these same products down here on my neck, but I don't really need a lot of that shine down there. That's just gonna end up looking like sweat to me. And then typically you can kind of stop here. I want just a little bit more color, so I'm grabbing, it's Eternal Sun Pro Longwear Blush by MAC. Just a tiny, tiny little bit, buffing it right there onto my cheekbone, right on the very top of that contour. Just wanted a little bit of color. Now, honestly, typically you would want to use a cream for that. But I like my blush not to be shiny. A little bit of shimmer in the blush is perfectly fine. But for this look, I wanted to keep it very natural. Then I'm going to take this is a 263 brush. So it's a nice angled brush. You can pretty much, any angled brush you're able to use. And I'm going to use Redhead Brow Gel Liner for my brows. So I'm going to just fill those in, keep it very natural, follow the natural shape of my brow just to give it that little bit of color, where naturally I have very dark hair, and as you can tell, I have blonde hair right now. So this right here is kind of lightening that up and giving me that nice neutral tone. Okay, as you can see, that already lightened up my face, gave me that nice shape, but just kind of lightened it up a little bit. Now, this part will be completely optional. I am going to take the palette I created, and it's basically this one right here. You have All That Glitters, Red Brick, I think, Brett's Brown Script, I'm sorry, with Nylon and Block Type. Just kind of a nice basic neutral palette. Then I'm going to use the 286 brush, which is the dual fiber eye brush by MAC. I'm not even going to use an eye base because I just want that little bit of definition. I'm going to take a little bit of All That Glitters, work that across my lid. Not doing anything too special with it. Just giving me that little bit of sparkle and a little bit more shape there. And then I'm going to take this palette right here, which is basically you have Embark, and there's a couple other tones throughout there. But the only one I'm really using, so the only one that matters is Embark, which is another MAC. And I'm just going to take a light little bit, work it in that crease. For most guys, you don't want to do this, but for girls who like that very natural, but that little bit of color, this is perfect. Then I'm going to, I like a little bit more shimmer around my eyes, so I'm going to take a little bit of nylon, press it right there on that inside corner. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the MAC Extended Play mascara. Love this stuff. This brush is amazing. It's very, very fine tip, but it's basically it's designed to wrap the lash. So you've got 16-hour wear on this. I don't ever have to touch up my mascara, and it gives me some incredible lashes. So there you go. That is the finished look. The only thing you're missing, or I'm missing, a little bit of gloss. This is a cream sheen, especially with this look, if you want to keep it very natural, just pick up one of the cream sheens by MAC. This one right here is called Japanese Spring. It's an older one, limited edition, but they've got colors very similar to this. And you just do that to add a little bit of gloss to the lips. So that is the finished look. It stays very natural, and it gives you this nice dewy glow to the skin. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I look forward to doing another tutorial for you guys. If you have any requests, feel free to let me know. I love you guys. Peace. See you later.